everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Today I have a super exciting video for you guys. I am going to be building my guinea pigs a loft. So I have been thinking about building them a loft for quite a bit now. I do have two Midwest cages attached side by side and one long cage, so it's about 16 square feet, and I have 3 girls in that cage, and I'm just thinking that a loft would just be really fun for them. Lofts do not add any additional square footage to your cage, so always keep that in mind. So just because I add loft space does not mean that is space for like enclosure added space to get more guinea pigs. You still have to go based off just level 1 for how many guinea pigs you have, because it is not a guarantee that all guinea pigs will use the ramp and use the second level. But I thought that my girls would really love it, just love running up and down the ramp, love the extra space, love maybe some distance away from one another. So I decided to build them a loft. And sorry if I keep looking to the side, I'm looking at the loft as I talk for some reason. But yeah, this is just going to be a little video about everything I used and how I did it. And I just want to note that there are a lot of good videos out there about how to make a coroplast bottom for your guinea pig cage. And I did use coroplast for my loft, and I did do a very poor job of matching the measurements to my loft. So I highly recommend that you do not use this video as a guide on how to build a coroplast bottom, although I will be showing you how I did mine. There are a lot of better videos. I think Scotty's Animals has a great one on how to perfectly make your coroplast bottom fit the size of your cage, but I will be showing you guys the entire process just so you can know everything that I did. But do go watch another video on how to make a coroplast bottom. But if you're interested in making a loft for your Midwest guinea pig cage, this video will be showing you exactly how to do just that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, and let's just get right into it. All right, so I am just going to quickly show you guys the supplies I will be using to build the loft for my cage. First, of course, I have the grids that I'm going to be using to build it. I just bought the traditional size CNC grids. I think I got 32 of them, something like that. These are the Amazon Basics grids. They are 14 inches by 14 inches, and they are 9 squares across, which is the size you want to make sure that your guinea pig's heads will not get stuck in the little holes. And then they came with these connectors, which I'm not really 100% sure if I will actually be using them, because I am mostly going to be having to overlap these grids to have them fit to the dimensions of my Midwest cage, since the grids are in 14 inches and my Midwest cage is in whole feet. The grids will be overlapping a little bit on my loft, so I don't really think I will be using the connectors. So I did order as well a ton of white zip ties so they would match the white grids and they would not be noticeable. And then I will insert a clip of this ginormous piece of coroplast that I bought. I went to my local Home Depot and I picked this up. It is 4 feet by 9 feet. It is a larger size. I probably could have gone with the smaller one, but I figured I would rather have more coroplast than not enough. And then in addition, I ordered just plain white duct tape to hold together the size of the coroplast, and that way it would not be noticeable since it is white. And then I also picked up a box cutter at my Home Depot, but I did not realize that box cutters don't come with the blades. I thought it would come with the blade, but there's not a blade in this, and I really don't feel like going to pack out to Home Depot to buy a blade. So I'm just going to be attempting to do this with a pair of scissors. It shouldn't be too hard to just score and cut the coroplast with scissors. I know it's easier with the box cutter, but it should work okay with scissors, especially since these are pretty good ones. And then also I have these 2 leftover grids that are from the center of my 2 Midwest cages. As you can see, I took out the grids when I attached them together. And if you guys are interested in seeing the video about how I expanded my Midwest cage and got a second one and attached them and that whole process, I will link that video up above. And when I did that whole process, it left me with these 2 grids, and I'm going to use these ones as the loft grids on the side since they are the exact width of the cage. That way I won't have to overlap the 14-inch grids on the sides. And as well, since these are this side of the cage, these grids are 14 inches tall, so they're going to match exactly how tall these grids are. I'll be able to like connect them like that. But yeah, so that is all of the supplies I will be using. And yeah, I'm super excited. Hopefully my girls will use the loft. We'll just see how this goes. I've been thinking about doing this for a while. But yeah, so let's just get right into it. To build the base for the loft, I just used lots and lots of zip ties to make it secure. I also made the loft on the left-hand side have a bit of an overhang since I had some space to do that and thought it would be easier to clean underneath. I made the loft on the right-hand side only 1 grid long because I thought if I made it 2 grids long, it would make it too difficult for me to clean underneath. Now it was time to build the ramps. Originally, I was planning on using CNC grids and bending them in order to make sides for a ramp. However, I don't know if I was doing it wrong or bending the incorrect direction, but every single grid that I tried to bend ended up breaking, and I just didn't feel comfortable with that sharp edge being right there. So this just snapped. I don't know what I am doing wrong. I've seen people bend these all the time to make bridges, like ramps. So maybe I'm bending them the wrong direction. Oh God. I have to duplicate this like 3 more times. Okay. Wonder if I just build the ramp completely out of coroplast. In the end, I decided that I would try to build my ramps out of coroplast. I made them about 2 feet long with 3-inch sides. At first, I only made 1 ramp to see if it would work. Now it was time for me to make the coroplast bottom for my loft. During this entire process, I did not use a single measuring tape or do any actual measurements. I just used my grids as a guide, but I highly recommend that you actually get a measuring tape for this part. Like I said earlier in the video, I did struggle with this, and I do recommend that you watch a different video on how to make a coroplast bottom for your cage, but I will show you guys everything I did here and the entire process. Using the knowledge that each of these grids is about 14 inches long and each square of these grids is about 1.5 inches, I was able to cut a piece of coroplast that was approximately the size I needed for the base of my loft, as well as sides that I wanted to be 3 inches tall. I found a box cutter in my apartment toolkit, and I used this to cut and score the coroplast, and it was much easier than using a pair of scissors. Next, I went back to my loft and put my piece of coroplast on top of it. I was trying to get a measurement of where I should score in order to fold the coroplast and make the sides. I sort of moved the coroplast around, looked underneath, and tried to use a pen to mark where I thought would be the best place. Ideally, you would be able to make your coroplast bottom when your loft is not attached to your cage, so you could set the grids on top of the coroplast and mark it that way, but unfortunately, I had already made my loft this way, so I just had to place the coroplast on top and try my best. figured it out. Look at Peanut. She's like, how'd you get up there? Pepper, show them how it's done. So I decided to just take down this front panel right here, and I'll probably just use this area up here to set any of their food. Like these jars right here, I'll probably just set them right here and set anything that I use for them on a daily basis, since they won't be able to reach up there. But the ramp was just going to take up way too much space. But I do think it works well as a little ledge, and it will also give them some little privacy for their hay area down here. So my setup for my loft is just to use these little bath mats on top of a washable pea pad. And I also use a bath mat for my ramp. And I just cut this in half, and then I will just be tucking this end underneath here, and then as well as tucking the top end underneath both of my layers. And that will just make sure that it stays in place and doesn't start to fall down or anything. And yeah, that's sort of the bedding that I use for my loft. Thank you all for watching today's video on how I built a loft for my guinea pigs. They really love it, and I hope you guys really loved watching this video. Please leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe to see more of my content. Thank you guys so much. Bye-bye.